Hello, my name is Michael Owenby and I'm the founder and lead volunteer for the Intimate Partner Violence Advocates. I want to be sharing some topics with you tonight that are very important to me, and we'll also be discussing some of the resources that are available through the Intimate Partner Violence Advocates. I hope you enjoy the presentation. I greatly appreciate you watching it. Thank you. I'll begin the presentation with explaining the Intimate Partner Violence Advocates mission statement. The primary goal and mission of the Intimate Partner Violence Advocates is to assist and help repair the emotional and physical damages sustained by victims of intimate partner violence. Our volunteers and employees with the Intimate Partner Violence Advocates strive to serve our community as another helpful resource to victims of intimate partner violence, as well as additional resources for our local law enforcement officers and the Department of Social Services. The first question we should be asking ourselves, what is intimate partner violence? Intimate partner violence is the actual or threatened physical or sexual violence or psychological or emotional abuse by a spouse, a boyfriend or girlfriend, an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, or a date. Other terms associated with intimate partner violence include domestic violence, spousal abuse, domestic abuse, battering, marital rape, and date rape. Now, when you think of intimate partner violence, probably the most commonly used term would be domestic violence. Intimate partner violence is the more encompassing term for domestic violence. It includes a broad range of different relationships, and we're going to be talking more about that in the future slides. In the last slide, we discussed the definition of intimate partner violence. Within this slide, we're going to talk about who can become victims of intimate partner violence. Both men and women can become victims of intimate partner violence. However, women are more prone to stalking and more violent partner victimization in intimate partner violence crimes. Intimate partner violence occurs among all of the population groups, regardless of social, economic, religious, or cultural characteristics, and that is cited from our textbook. Young women and those below the poverty line are by far more prone to becoming a victim of intimate partner violence. The figure in the following slide depicts the wheel of violence, and we will discuss that further. We're going to be talking further about the cycle of violence wheel. There's several different categories upon this wheel, and just be advised that this wheel pertains to a male being the aggressor and a female being the victim, although we know that both male and both females can be victims of intimate partner violence. So it starts at using coercion and threats, making it or carrying out threats to do something to hurt her, threatening to leave her, to commit suicide, to report her to welfare, making her drop charges, or making her do illegal activities. The next we go to using intimidation, making her afraid by using looks, actions, gestures, smashing things, destroying her property, abusing pets, or displaying weapons. This is particularly one that law enforcement officers should be aware of, especially if they are investigating a domestic violence incident and the male and the female are not separated. Looks, actions, gestures obviously should be something law enforcement officers are looking at. All right, we're going to move on to using emotional abuse, putting her down, making her feel bad about herself, calling her names, making her think she's crazy, playing mind games, humiliating her, or making her feel guilty. Using isolation, controlling what she does, who she sees and talks to, what she reads, where she goes, limiting her outside involvement, and using jealousy to justify actions. Minimizing, denying, and blaming. Making light of the abuse and not taking her concerns about it seriously. Saying the abuse didn't happen, shifting responsibility for abusive behavior, and saying she caused it. Next, we'll go to using children. making her feel guilty about the children, using the children to relay messages to her from him, using visitation to harass her, threatening to take the children away from her. Next is using male privilege, treating her like a servant, making all the big decisions, acting like the master of the castle, being the one to define men's and women's roles, societal privilege in general. And last, using economic abuse, preventing her from getting or keeping a job, making her ask for money, giving her an allowance, taking her money, not letting her know about or have access to family income. Next, we're going to be talking about statistics and the comparisons of victims of intimate partner violence. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence national statistics, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe IPV physical violence, intimate partner contact sexual violence, and/or intimate partner stalking with impacts such as injury, fearfulness, post-traumatic stress disorder, use of victim services, contraction of sexually transmitted diseases, etc. And that is cited from our textbook. The following information from the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence puts the numbers into perspective. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. This includes a range of behaviors. Examples: slapping, shoving, pushing, and in some cases might not be considered domestic violence. 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men have been injured by an intimate partner. 1 in 10 women have been raped by an intimate partner. Data is unavailable on male victims. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been victims of severe physical violence, example beating, burning, strangling, by an intimate partner in their lifetime. And lastly, 1 in 7 women and 1 in 18 men have been stalked by an intimate partner during their life, which they felt very fearful or believe that they or someone close to them would be harmed. And that was taken from the NCADV and accessed on 2019. Now that we have covered the meaning and statistics of IPV and its victims, we can now discuss the intimate partner violence advocates and how we work to alleviate the long-term effects of IPV victims. We're going to be talking about victim support. Intimate partner violence advocates assist victims of IPV by providing various resources before and after a reported incident. Now, if a victim does not wish to report an incident to a police officer, that's okay. They can call our 24-hour hotline at any time. But if they report the incident to a police officer, or if they need emergency assistance, by all means call 911. And if they call us, we can respond to the scene, or we can meet them at a safe location, or we can meet with them and see what their needs are, and we can get them to a safe location. Trained volunteers will be available and on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to respond to the scene of any reported IPV incident or during a time of crisis. Our volunteers receive extensive training to assist victims who have suffered emotional and physical abuse from their significant others. Intimate partner violence victim support. 24-hour hotline offering emotional support or counseling to victims. 24-hour response to the scene of any reported incident of intimate partner violence per the request of the victim or law enforcement officers. Victims will also have access to an emergency shelter and a courtesy escort from the scene of the incident to a safe haven or a shelter by the advocate. Court advocacy, providing legal assistance in court for victims of intimate partner violence. And last but not least, we will offer training and education programs to victims as well as first responders in reference to intimate partner violence prevention. Another benefit that we would offer would be advising victim of their compensation services and what resources are available to them in North Carolina. Members of the Intimate Partner Violence Advocates would offer information to victims regarding victim compensation. The North Carolina Department of Public Safety offers victim compensation services including health insurance, auto or disability insurance, public funds, workers' compensation, or restitution paid by an offender. Medical expenses may be paid up to $30,000 for medical treatment of injuries as a result of a crime, and a maximum of $5,000 may be paid for funeral expenses if the victim is killed as a result of a crime. The Intimate Partner Violence Advocates partners with our local agencies to further assist our victims and to add additional resources to our area. The IPVA works closely with the Family Justice Center as well as Helpmate to offer further resources and assistance to victims of IPV. Helpmate has offered great resources to IPV victims, but the growing population and the increased rate of intimate partner violence reported in Buncombe County has greatly stretched the resources to the limit. IPVA would be a much needed second resource for victims who have exhausted their options for assistance. You've probably seen our commercials on local TV or heard it broadcasted over the local radio. The Intimate Partner Violence Advocates, we ask, are you or a loved one suffering from the effects of intimate partner violence? Do you feel as if you are alone and you have nobody to turn to? Do you think that there's no way out of an abusive relationship? Please take the numbers that are listed below. Contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Please contact us. In case of any emergency, an immediate emergency, contact 911. All right. We're going to do a pop quiz. We'll see if everybody was paying attention during the presentation. First question, victims of intimate partner violence are always females, true or false? I'll wait on the answer. That is false. Victims can be male or female, as we discussed earlier. The next question, victims of intimate partner violence are typically females. True or false? That is true. Statistics prove that females are more likely to become victims of intimate partner violence than males. Okay, our last pop quiz question. The Intimate Partner Violence Advocates will respond 24/7, 365 to any reported IPV incident upon LEO or victim request. That is true. The Intimate Partner Violence Advocates will respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a year, 365 days to assist any victims who report an incident of intimate partner violence. In conclusion, the Intimate Partner Violence Advocates are trained professionals who are here to assist victims of IPV. The Intimate Partner Violence Advocates work closely with local resources as well as law enforcement agencies to assist victims of IPV by offering further resources. The IPVA is a focused, independent, nonprofit organization focused on the well-being of the community, along with raising awareness of the growing number of IPV incidents in the area. IPVA can be assessed by telephone website, or by contacting local law enforcement agencies, radio broadcasts, and seminars held at local universities. I've greatly appreciated everybody watching my presentation. I hope that the IPVA can be a substantial resource that can be used for generations to come. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.